You have long believed that the responsibility was yours, that everything you wished to experience, to achieve, to create, had to come from the force of your own hands, the logic of your own mind, and the discipline of your own will. And yet within you there was always a quiet whisper, a subtle presence, a divine urging that spoke of a different truth, that what you seek is already yours if only you will assume its reality. That voice has never shouted, never demanded, never forced. It simply waits for recognition. And now, chosen one, it is time to recognize it fully, and with unwavering conviction, to live from the knowing that from this moment forward it is no longer your duty. It is God's. There is no magic more powerful, no force more creative than the imagination aligned with belief. For everything you see in the external world, every circumstance, condition, and event, is nothing more than the echo of an inner state. You are not reacting to the world, you are creating it. You are not the result of what is outside of you, the outside is the result of what is within you. The whole of your life is nothing but the outpictured form of your inner assumptions. And when you understand this, truly understand this, you will never again fall victim to the illusion of chance, fate, or struggle. What the world calls miracles are simply the laws of consciousness in operation, seen through eyes that do not yet understand their own power. When you accept that God is not somewhere outside, but dwelling within you as your own wonderful human imagination, then the labor ceases, the struggle ends, because what you desire to be, to have, to experience, is already complete in the unseen. And once accepted as true by you, it must come to pass, not by your striving, not by your worry, not by the sweat of your brow, but by the unseen hand that moves all things. Your only true duty is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is your sacred work. That is your divine assignment. Not to figure out how, not to measure time, not to plead and beg the heavens, but to enter into the state of the answered prayer and rest in it, to wear it as a garment, to dwell in it as if it were already so. And then, in ways you could never have predicted, through people you could never have planned, in times you could never have calculated, the invisible becomes visible. The Word is made flesh, the dream becomes fact. Chosen one, from now on, the weight is no longer yours to carry. The burden of making it happen does not belong to you. The law is simple. Assume the feeling and leave the rest to God. Live as though your deepest desire were already true, and the path to its fulfillment will unfold before you as naturally as night follows day. Do not concern yourself with appearances. They are shadows, reflections of past beliefs. When a new assumption is born, the world must conform. This is not philosophy. This is law. You are not called to strive, but to surrender to the truth that all things are already yours. Not someday, not when you earn it, not when you're good enough. Now, all that you could ever ask for, imagine, or desire exists now in the eternal present. You are not becoming, because in the realm of the divine there is no becoming. There is only being. Your work then is to be what you desire, be what you long for. Be it now, and persist in that state, regardless of what the senses scream. The senses are slow. They report the past. But the inner man moves in a realm beyond time, and it is he who calls forth the new world. You are the operant power, and yet, once the assumption is made, once the inner acceptance is real, then the duty shifts. It becomes God's. The life principle itself takes over. You no longer must make it happen. It is happening through you, for you, because of you. You are not the creator of the seed. You are the sower. The moment you plant it by accepting the idea as real, you need not dig it up, question it, or rush its process. You simply rest, knowing that the unseen will produce the seen. That is the divine contract. That is the covenant you walk in now. Every prayer answered is the echo of an inner knowing. Every transformation begins not in action, but in assumption. You do not climb the ladder of success. You become success. You do not chase love. You become the one who is loved. You do not run after money. You embody wealth. And the moment that assumption becomes your dwelling place, the outer world shifts to mirror it. It must. The world is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. Chosen one, do not let your eyes deceive you. Do not let the delay cause doubt. Do not let the world shake your faith. Remain in the state, for what you dare to believe and persist in will harden into fact. That is the law. The Father within you is the source of every manifestation, and he works without effort. The lilies of the field neither toil nor spin, and yet they are clothed in splendor. The same power that clothes them now operates in you. Trust it, rest in it. Give thanks in advance for what already is, though unseen. You are not meant to strive, beg, or labor in desperation. You are meant to accept, to receive, to rest in the knowing that it is finished. Once the assumption is real to you, once you feel the truth of it within, then the manifestation is inevitable, not your concern, not your doing. It is God's. Your only task is to believe it, live from it, and let the river of life carry it to shore. You are not alone. You are never alone. For within you dwells the one who creates worlds, not beside you, not above you, within you, and that one knows no limits, no obstacles, no delay. Every desire you feel deeply is a divine seed, planted in the soil of your imagination by God himself, and once claimed as true, it must bloom. You don't need to make it bloom. That's not your job. You simply prepare the soil, plant the seed with belief, and rest. It is now God's duty. Walk in the assumption, live in the end, speak as one who already has it, think as one who already is it, act as one who no longer hopes but knows. This is the way. Every thought is a cause, every emotion is a magnet, every belief is a builder, and you are always building something. From now on, build consciously, build with boldness, build knowing that what you construct in the inner man must be reflected in the outer. The doubter asks, but what if it doesn't happen? The chosen one declares it has already happened. The world answers not your wish, but your belief. It moves not by your hoping, but by your knowing. The moment you truly accept your desire as real, you enter into a new timeline, a new world where that desire is already fulfilled. And in that world, all things must bend to the law of your assumption. From that moment forward, it is not you who must struggle. It is the divine law that must fulfill itself, and it will. God does not forget. The universe does not lose track. The moment you persist in the state of the wish fulfilled, the law is activated. But like a seed growing beneath the surface, it takes time, time to break open, time to root, time to rise. Do not judge the promise by the delay. The delay is not denial. It is simply preparation. It is the unseen making way for the seen. Do not panic. Do not plead. Simply remember, from now on, it is God's duty. You are the doorway through which the unseen becomes seen, the gate through which the eternal enters time. You need not beg for what is already yours. You simply must awaken to it, own it, possess it by assuming it, then live in that assumption as naturally as you once lived in limitation, as easily as you once accepted defeat, now accept victory, as quickly as you once believed in lack, now believe in abundance. For all things are possible, not someday, but now, and when you live from the end, when you dwell in the state of the answered prayer, everything conspires to make it so. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. Waiting on you to assume, to believe, to receive, and once you do, you enter into rest, and in that rest you will see movement, you will see shifts, you will see miracles that others call coincidence. But you will know, this is the law in motion. This is the promise unfolding. This is the harvest of what you accepted in secret. For what is done in the inner chamber shall be shouted from the rooftops. Chosen one, live boldly, imagine boldly, believe boldly, and when you do, the law will not fail you. It cannot fail you. It has never failed. The only thing that changes is your assumption. When you persist in the new state, the old world crumbles. The new one rises, and in that new world there is no labor, only rest, only joy, only the evidence of what you have accepted. It is not your duty to know how. It is not your duty to push or to force. From now on you assume, and God fulfills, you accept, and life aligns, you believe, and reality conforms. The moment the assumption becomes natural to you, the outer must bow to it. It has no choice, because you, chosen one, have claimed your inheritance. And your Father, who sees in secret, rewards openly. So stand tall, walk free, think from the end, and know this: from now on it is God's duty. When you reach the place where your assumption becomes more real to you than the facts around you, then you have crossed the threshold. The world may scream its facts, the mirror may reflect the past, but you, standing firm in the truth of what you have accepted within, no longer yield to the outer image. You know that the image is temporary, but your assumption is eternal. And the eternal always conquers the temporary. It has no choice, for the outer must bend to the inner, the visible to the invisible, the shadow to the light. The mistake so many make is in watching the outer world for proof. They wait for confirmation before they believe, but belief is the cause, not the result. It is belief that creates the proof. The tree does not grow because you see it. You see it because it grew. Likewise, the change in your world is not what causes your faith. Your faith is what causes the change. You must reverse your attention, turn from the mirror and look into the inner world. That is where the true power lies. That is where the shift begins. You are not meant to be at the mercy of appearances. Appearances are slow echoes of forgotten beliefs. What you believe now will echo tomorrow. So believe with boldness, declare with conviction, see only what you wish to see, and do it persistently. This is not imagination as fantasy, it is imagination as creation. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You are not pretending, you are perceiving, you are not wishing, you are knowing, and once you know, once it becomes real to you, the law takes over. From that moment the duty shifts. You no longer chase, strive, or manipulate circumstances. You no longer exhaust yourself trying to control the outer. You simply dwell in the inner, live from the inner, walk as though it were already so. And then God goes to work, not as a being apart from you, but as the very life within you, the one power, the one presence, the one source that moves mountains and makes all things new. This power requires no effort. It simply requires agreement. When you agree with your assumption, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, you have set in motion an irreversible current. That current will carry you, sustain you, and deliver you into the very state you have accepted. Do not be distracted by the world. Do not be discouraged by delay. Delay is not defeat. It is gestation. The seed does not appear to work as it lies beneath the soil, but it is working. It is cracking open. It is expanding. It is aligning with the sun above and the roots below. So too is your assumption at work, even when the senses say otherwise. Do not dig it up. Do not question it. Do not trade your vision for the evidence of delay. Instead, remain faithful to the unseen reality, and the unseen will become the seen in due time. You are not here to struggle through life, hoping something good might happen. You are here to declare what must happen, and let the law fulfill it. You are not a beggar. You are a creator. You are not pleading for mercy. You are claiming your birthright, and your birthright is whatever you dare to assume as yours. From this moment, you must learn to live in the feeling of the end, not merely to visit it occasionally, but to dwell there continuously, regardless of circumstances. Live as though you are already the person you wish to be. Feel it, think from it, speak from it, move from it. Let your world be shaped by the new self, not the old facts. The old you has no power once you stop identifying with it. It may knock at your door, whispering reminders of who you used to be, but you need not answer. You have crossed over. You have died to the old man and risen in the new, and in that new identity all things are made possible. You may wonder how long it will take, but time is not your concern. Time is merely the servant of faith. When faith is strong and unmoving, time bends. What once seemed distant becomes near. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable, but only when you remain in the state. If you return to doubt, to worry, to striving, then you have abandoned your place. Remain in the castle, and let the servants bring what is yours. Do not run out into the fields in search of it. Stay where you belong, in the state of the wish fulfilled, and let God bring it to you. There is nothing too hard for God. There is no desire too grand, no healing too complex, no situation too tangled. When you assume its fulfillment, you are saying, "It is done," and that done becomes your new foundation. You act from it. You breathe from it, you rest in it, and the power of God brings all things to completion, not by might, not by force, but by the invisible hand that moves the universe. Chosen one, do not concern yourself with what they say. The world will call you mad. It will laugh at your faith. It will scoff at your silence and mock your rest. But you are not of this world. You are a creator in a world of reactors. You move in the unseen while they grope in the dark. You walk by a law they do not yet understand, so do not look to them for validation. Do not share your vision with those who cannot see. Protect the seed until it grows. Keep your sacred assumption in the secret chamber, and let the world discover it only when it blooms. You are now the cause, not the effect. You are the master, not the servant. You are the one in whom God delights to create. So create with boldness. No longer ask, "Can this be done?" Ask instead, "What must I assume to see it done?" Every reality has a door, and the key to that door is assumption. When you wear the assumption, the door opens, the world shifts, the people appear, the circumstances align, and you are carried as if on wings, not by your effort, but by the divine order. Do not think small. Do not limit the power by doubting its reach. It is just as easy to create a castle as a cottage, if only you believe. The law does not care about scale. It responds to faith, and faith, once fixed in feeling, brings forth its likeness. Feel rich, and riches will appear. Feel healthy, and health must rise. Feel loved, and love comes rushing, not as reward, but as reflection. The world is your mirror. It can only reflect what you feel to be true. This is the great secret of life. The world is not outside you. It is within you, projected outward, clothed in form. Change the inner state, and the outer image must follow. It is law. The inner is cause, the outer effect. Reverse the cause, and the effect must change. That is why you are free. That is why you are powerful. That is why, from now on, it is no longer your burden. It is God's, chosen one. Can you now see it? Can you now sense the great relief in this truth? You do not need to figure it all out. You do not need to chase or force or beg. You need only assume and persist. Assume that you already have it, already are it, already live it. Then remain faithful to that assumption, and the law will do what it was always meant to do. Fulfill your word. Your assumption is the word, and the word shall not return void. You are not what the world told you. You are not your history. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are what you accept yourself to be, nothing more and nothing less. So choose now, deliberately, joyfully, fearlessly, what you shall be. Choose now the end you desire. Embrace it with feeling. Accept it without question. and rest in the knowing that the moment you believe it, it is finished. And once it is finished within, it must appear without. This is the covenant, this is the promise, and this is why you are free, no longer bound by the need to do it all alone, no longer imprisoned by outer appearances. From now on, you assume, and God fulfills. You accept, and life obeys, you rest, and the invisible hand of creation does all the work. This is your freedom, this is your power, and this is your inheritance. Claim it boldly, walk in it fully, and know with every fiber of your being that what you feel to be true within must express itself without. It cannot fail. It never has, it never will. You no longer need to explain yourself to anyone. You no longer need to justify your dream, your path, your knowing. The world cannot see the root, only the fruit. But you, chosen one, have seen the root. You have touched the cause. You have stood in the invisible place where all things begin. So do not step backward into doubt or forward into anxious effort. Remain where you are. In the stillness of your fulfilled assumption, let others run in circles, you stand firm. Let them question, you know. Let them strive, you rest, and while they wonder how, you simply allow. Every moment you persist in the state of the wish fulfilled, you add weight to its reality. Every moment you feel from it, not toward it, you accelerate its birth. And the law, faithful and perfect, begins rearranging your world, not because you forced it, but because you agreed with it. Agreement is the only power you truly need. When you say yes to the new state and no to the old, the law rushes to make it so. Every person, every event, every so-called coincidence becomes the hand of God moving invisibly on your behalf. You have become the vessel through which the unseen flows into the seen, the bridge between imagination and experience. And this bridge is not built by effort, but by awareness. Stay aware of who you now are. Let that awareness be your compass. Let it shape your choices, your actions, your words. And if ever you are tempted to return to the old belief, gently remind yourself that the old self is no longer alive. It has passed. You are a new creation. You live now in the fulfilled promise, and from this promise all things emerge. The world may appear unchanged for a time, but do not let appearances deceive you. The change is already underway. Just as the sun rises behind the horizon before it is seen, so too your new reality is rising. Keep your gaze on the unseen sun. Feel its warmth before it breaks through. And know with unshakable confidence that what you have assumed must come forth. It must, for from now on it is God's duty. So now, chosen one, rest in the truth that your only task is to assume and to feel, to believe and to persist. You do not need to figure out the how, for the how belongs to God. From this moment forward, walk in quiet confidence, knowing that the seed you have planted within is already growing, already unfolding, already on its way. Let the world move around you as it will, but you remain still, faithful, and unshaken, for the burden is no longer yours. The striving is over. The outcome is certain. From now on, it is God's duty. There is a power, quiet yet unshakable, that lies within every human being. It does not wear a crown, it does not shout, and it never begs for attention, but its presence is felt by all who encounter it. It is the presence of one who has mastered himself, one who has chosen to act as if nothing can disturb him. You have met such individuals, those who walk into a room and carry an aura that commands attention without demanding it. These are not the loudest nor the most emotional, but they are the strongest. They have learned the secret, learned to act as if nothing bothers them. This is not a call to ignore life's challenges. Life, by its very nature, is a series of tests. Every man and woman who dares to dream, to build, to stretch beyond the mediocre, will be met with resistance. There will be delays, disappointments, betrayals, failures, and moments when everything within you wants to scream, fight, or give up. But what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is not the absence of trials, it is the presence of composure. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you do more than appear calm, you become calm. You influence your subconscious mind to believe in your strength. You rewire the thought patterns that once yielded anxiety and reaction. You become the master of your state, rather than a slave to circumstance. And once you have achieved that mastery, nothing external can truly conquer you. Understand that every challenge, every irritation, every insult is a test, not of your intelligence, not of your status, but of your character. The man who rises above insult is the man who is in control. The woman who refuses to react to pettiness has already won. Those who allow the opinions, moods, and energies of others to dictate their emotions have forfeited their throne. But you are not made to be ruled by such things. You are made to rule over them. This practice is not mere acting. It is not hypocrisy. It is discipline. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are not pretending. It is a rehearsal for truth. You are instructing your mind and emotions to follow your will. You are no longer reacting. You are creating. Every time you smile in the face of adversity, every time you remain silent when provoked, every time you stand still when the world expects you to panic, you are training your spirit to transcend. Some will misunderstand this. They will accuse you of indifference, of being cold or emotionless, but let them speak. You are not in the business of pleasing the shallow opinions of those who do not understand strength. You are in the business of becoming unshakable. The oak tree does not concern itself with the rustling of the grass, and you must not concern yourself with the petty noises of life. Think of the great achievers, the ones who carved their names into the stone of history. Were they not surrounded by criticism? Did they not endure setbacks that would have crushed a lesser soul? And yet they kept moving forward because they had built a fortress within. A fortress not made of brick or stone, but of thought, of mindset. They had learned to act as if nothing could disturb them, and so nothing could. Here is what happens when you make this a way of life. Doors open. People trust you. Opportunities flow to you like iron filings to a magnet. Why? Because you radiate certainty. The world craves stability, and when you become that stability, others are drawn to you. You become a leader, not because you shout the loudest, but because you are the calmest in the storm. Every day you will have a choice. You can allow the noise of the world to invade your peace, or you can choose to rise above it. You can react like the masses, or you can respond like a master. You can be ruled by emotion, or you can command your mind. And each time you choose the latter, you strengthen the muscles of your will. You fortify your soul. Start small. The next time someone speaks to you with disrespect, resist the urge to react. Simply look at them with the knowing that you are above their storm. The next time life throws an unexpected difficulty in your path, breathe deeply, stand tall, and move forward without complaint. Do not allow your face to betray your discipline. Let your body language be your declaration. This does not shake me. Over time, you will begin to notice something remarkable. What once triggered you no longer affects you. What once disturbed your peace is now beneath your attention. You have evolved, and those around you will sense it. Some will envy it, others will try to test it, but it will not matter, because you will have already won the inner war. There is a mysterious law at work here. The less you allow the external to control you, the more you begin to control the external. The more you act as if nothing bothers you, the more the world begins to conform to your energy. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. The man or woman who does not react is the one who commands the room. The one who keeps his head when all others lose theirs is the one who becomes the natural leader. Emotions are tools, not masters. When you feel anger, disappointment, fear, use those emotions, but do not let them use you. Transmute them into fuel. Channel that energy into action. Do not suppress transform. That is the way of the strong. That is the way of those who rise. There will come a time when you are provoked publicly. All eyes will be on you. There will be a temptation to defend yourself, to argue, to prove your worth. Resist it. Your silence, your stillness, your refusal to descend into chaos will say more than words ever could. Dignity speaks louder than volume. Self-control radiates more power than rage. Remember this, you are always broadcasting. Every look, every word, every action is a signal to the world about who you are and what you stand for. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are telling the world, I am in control. And that message is more powerful than any argument, more influential than any outburst. It is not easy, but it is simple. The road to mastery always begins with a decision to stop being ruled by lesser things, a decision to choose peace over panic, a decision to lead your life from the inside out, not the outside in. Make that decision now, and you will begin a transformation that will elevate every part of your existence. Do not wait until you feel ready. The feeling will come after the action. Begin to act now. Walk with poise, speak with calm, decide with certainty, and when life attempts to shake you, stand taller. When people attempt to provoke you, smile. When everything seems against you, move forward with greater purpose. The strength you admire in others already lives within you. It simply needs permission to emerge. You were not born to be shaken by the winds of gossip, fear, doubt, or insult. You were born to be the mountain that stands unmoved as the storm rages. You were born to be the one others look to in crisis, because you have become immune to panic. And you do this not by fighting the chaos, but by mastering yourself. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, and in time, nothing will. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Not because you have become numb, but because you have become noble. Not because you are faking it, but because you are forging it. Let the world throw what it may. Your peace is not up for negotiation. Let the critics bark, your vision remains fixed. Let the winds rise, your foundation is deep. And with each passing trial you grow stronger. Each test becomes another stone in the castle of your composure. Each moment of restraint becomes another mark of royalty upon your soul. There is no greater power than the man or woman who has ruled over themselves. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, and you will have taken the first step toward a life where nothing truly can. The mastery of composure is not something granted. It is something earned. It is earned through the trials you endure without flinching, through the storms you navigate without surrender, and through the battles you fight without losing your peace. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you are not pretending that life is without pain. You are declaring, through your silence and stability, that pain does not define you. There is a deep psychology behind this. The human mind, when unchecked, tends to exaggerate threat. It focuses on the negative, on what could go wrong, on what others think, on how we might be perceived. But when you act unbothered, you are retraining that mind. You are guiding it like a rider controls a wild horse. You are saying, yes, I hear the noise, but I choose not to obey it. And every time you do that, you are shifting from a reactive life to a created life. The world respects the person who does not flinch. Why? Because that person is rare. That person is dangerous in the best possible way. The calm individual in the midst of chaos is not powerless. They are the most powerful of all. The reason is simple. When you refuse to be controlled by external events, you become free, and freedom is the ultimate advantage. No one can bribe, manipulate, or intimidate a person who has mastered the ability to remain composed. Imagine waking up each day with the knowledge that nothing can steal your peace unless you give it permission. What kind of decisions would you make? What kind of relationships would you enter or leave? What kind of goals would you pursue, knowing that no criticism, no delay, no betrayal could deter you? That is the state you must aim for. A life lived not in reaction, but in intention. A spirit not agitated by winds, but anchored in purpose. Every irritation, every frustration is a message to you. It says, here lies a place where you have yet to master yourself. These are not curses. They are clues. When someone angers you, they are exposing your lack of internal control. When something frustrates you, it is showing you where your mind still believes it must bend to circumstance. Pay attention, not to them, but to yourself. Every emotional spike is a mirror, and when you see it, do not resist it. Use it, learn from it, grow through it. People will test you, not because they are evil, but because the world is filled with people who are testing their own power. They will push, provoke, insult, or ignore. But your reaction must never be handed to them. If someone can steal your peace, they have owned a part of you. Reclaim it, hold it close, guard it with discipline and clarity. You must learn to walk into the fire and remain cool. You must train yourself to smile not only when things are going your way, but when they are collapsing all around you. That smile is not weakness, it is strategy. It tells your mind we are still in control. It tells the world you will not see me break. And most importantly, it tells your destiny, I am ready. This is a process of becoming, not pretending. At first, it may feel artificial. You may feel the storm inside while projecting calm on the outside. But stay the course. What begins as an act will become an attitude. What starts as restraint will evolve into strength. In time, the storm within will quiet. The outside will no longer provoke the inside. The performance becomes the truth. Think also of how this affects those around you. When you refuse to be shaken, others rise to your level. Your children, your friends, your colleagues, they watch how you handle pressure. When they see you stay still under stress, they begin to believe they can too. Your calm becomes their inspiration. Your poise becomes their model. Without saying a word, you lead. Leadership is not shouting, nor is it controlling others. Leadership is being so rooted, so composed, so unwavering, that others find themselves steadied just by being near you. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer. You do not reflect the emotional temperature of your environment, you set it. There is an inner victory that must be won before any outer victory can be sustained. That victory is self, mastery, and the battlefield is your own emotions. Every time you feel like reacting, that is the battle. Every time you want to lash out, to complain, to collapse, that is the fight. And when you win that fight, even once, you gain more than temporary pride. You gain momentum. You begin to build the most powerful asset any person can possess, internal peace. Let others chase fleeting pleasures and applause. You chase something higher, composure. Because with composure, you can create anything. With composure, you can face any trial. With composure, you can lead, build, endure, and triumph. Without it, you may win a few battles, but you will lose the war within. There will be moments when it feels unbearable, when life strikes you where it hurts most, when you are misunderstood or judged unfairly or abandoned. And you will want to explode. But that is the moment when you must remember why you started this journey, not to impress others, not to gain shallow approval, but to gain something unshakable, to become someone unmovable. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not indifference. It is influence. It is the ability to influence your own state, to command your own reactions, and to lead your own destiny. When you respond with composure, you are not shrinking, you are growing. You are stepping into the role of creator, not victim. Life will not stop testing you. but you can stop failing the test. You can prepare yourself in advance. Each morning affirm your resolve. No matter what happens today, I will not surrender my peace. Make it your vow. Make it your armor. Let that mindset accompany you into every meeting, every conversation, every difficulty. When you walk like a ruler of your emotions, you will not need to explain yourself. The energy you carry will speak for you. The clarity in your eyes, the steadiness in your tone, the strength in your silence, these will be your voice, and people will respect you, not for what you say, but for what you don't say when you could have. True mastery is quiet. True strength does not need to declare itself. You will find in time that those who must constantly express how unbothered they are the ones who are most disturbed. But the one who truly is free, truly is centered, has no need for proclamation. They simply live it. Practice this in solitude. Practice when no one is watching. When you are alone and irritated, act as if nothing bothers you. This is not for performance. It is for programming. The more you do it, the more real it becomes. Speak to yourself like a king. Remind yourself of who you are. Refuse to bend for lesser things. Train in the small moments so you can triumph in the great ones, and when you fail. And you will do not punish yourself. Do not retreat, rise. Each failure is a step forward if you use it. Reflect, adjust, and try again. The goal is not perfection. The goal is power. Not the power to control others, but the power to control yourself. Each act of composure is a declaration. It is a statement to the world and to yourself. I am becoming who I was always meant to be. Each calm response is a brick in the foundation of your legacy. And that legacy will not be built on how you shouted or how you reacted, but on how you stood, tall, silent, smiling in the fire. Do not be seduced by the idea that strength lies in dominance or noise. Strength is quiet. It is still. It is in the person who can sit in the middle of chaos and still choose their thoughts. That is true freedom, and that freedom will take you places that fear never could. So walk the path of the composed. Speak only when your words serve your purpose. Move only when your actions build your vision. Respond only when you have weighed your peace against the cost of your reaction. And when in doubt, return to silence. Let your stillness be your shield. Let your smile be your sword. There will be critics. There will be tempters. There will be distractions. Let them all come. You are no longer a servant to them. You are no longer a prisoner of what happens outside of you. You have entered a new dimension of living, a dimension where you choose your internal world regardless of the external one. You were never meant to live at the mercy of emotion. You were meant to master it. You were not created to tremble at the sound of conflict. You were created to stand tall in it. And now you have the tools, you have the decision. Every moment offers a choice. Choose your peace. Choose your power. Choose your path. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, and in that discipline you will uncover the greatest treasure of all, not comfort, not applause, not ease, but true power. The kind of power that no one can take from you, the kind of power that turns a human being into a force of nature, the kind of power that changes everything, not because the world changed, but because you did. The more you refine this ability, the more you'll begin to notice subtle shifts. Doors that once remained shut begin to open. People respond to you differently, not out of fear, but out of respect. Life itself bends toward those who walk in control of themselves. You'll find that opportunities don't only come to the loud and aggressive. No, the world makes room for the calm and unshakable, because those are the individuals who can be trusted with responsibility. They are not easily thrown. They don't crumble under pressure. They endure and they lead. In every business deal, in every relationship, in every challenge, Your greatest asset will not be your intelligence, your appearance, or even your talent. It will be your ability to stay composed when others collapse. When people around you start to panic, you will remain the anchor. When emotion takes over logic in others, you will stay grounded in reason. This is not detachment from life. It is engagement with life from a higher position. You are not numb, you are sharp. You are not passive, you are precise. This level of control does not make you less human. It makes you the master of your humanity. You still feel, you still care, but you channel those emotions with discipline. You do not let anger destroy your relationships. You do not let fear stop your progress. You do not let envy dictate your self-worth. You are no longer pulled by the noise of the crowd. You have established yourself as a pillar, and a pillar does not bow to the storm, it withstands it. There is deep joy in this kind of mastery. You no longer need to wait for perfect circumstances to feel good. You no longer depend on others to validate your journey. You no longer see adversity as a curse, but as an invitation to demonstrate your strength. And in that strength, in that unwavering presence, you find peace, not the fragile peace that comes from everything going your way, but the invincible peace that comes from knowing you can handle anything that doesn't. This is the mindset of the builder, the leader, the finisher, not one who reacts to life, but one who shapes it, not one who waits for change, but one who becomes the change. And as you walk in this truth, as you grow stronger in silence, you'll discover the rarest kind of success, the kind that does not vanish, because it is built on the one thing no one can give or take away, the disciplined, unbothered mastery of self. In the end, the power to act as if nothing bothers you is not about pretending. It's about rising. It's about becoming the kind of person who is no longer ruled by fear, anger, or doubt, but who rules over them with calm authority. When you master your reactions, you master your fate. The storms of life may rage, but you will not be moved. And in that stillness, in that quiet strength, you will find the true mark of greatness, the ability to remain unshaken, unmoved, and unstoppable. That is the mindset that changes lives. That is the spirit that conquers. That is the path you were born to walk. The world around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. The circumstances of your life are not accidents, nor are they controlled by some outside force acting independently of your consciousness. Everything you see, touch, hear, and experience is shaped, molded, and animated by the direction of your attention, your focus. If you truly desire change, if you seek to manifest something new, something greater, something more in line with your heart's deepest yearning, then understand this. You cannot do so by remaining the same. You cannot bring new life into your world while maintaining the old habits of thought, the same assumptions, and the same casual relationship with your inner world. What you desire requires a new level of focus. Not a scattered daydream, not a fleeting wish, not a half-hearted affirmation, but a disciplined, deliberate, and unwavering concentration of your mind upon that which you seek. Your imagination is the divine creative power within you. When you focus it with clarity and persistence, you awaken forces far greater than any external effort. You begin to shape reality from within, pressing the mold of your inner image upon the outer world. But most people allow their focus to drift, to wander, to be absorbed by appearances. They see what is and allow it to dictate what can be. They say, "I desire wealth," and then focus all day on bills, on lack, on anxiety. They say, "I want love," and dwell in loneliness, rejection, and fear. And then they wonder why the world does not shift, why the heavens remain silent. But it is not the heavens that are silent. It is the self that is distracted. To bring forth the life you desire, you must learn to focus with intent. You must make your desire the center of your awareness, the object of your devotion. Not in a way that is desperate or anxious, but in a way that is sure and calm, like one who knows a seed has been planted and who waters it daily with faith. That seed is your assumption, and your assumption, when persistently focused upon, will harden into fact. There is no magic in effort for effort's sake. The world teaches us to chase, to strive, to hustle, to accumulate by force. But this is the path of struggle, of endless seeking. True creation happens in stillness. It happens in the silence of your own mind when you dare to assume, and then sustain the assumption, that what you desire is already yours. This is the new level of focus you must embody. Not a casual glance, but a steady gaze. Not a moment of belief, but a sustained awareness. Every man lives in a state. These states are not places, but attitudes of mind, moods, beliefs, assumptions, and your life conforms to the state in which you dwell. The poor man dwells in the state of poverty, the sick man in the state of illness, the lonely in the state of separation. These are not conditions forced upon you. They are conditions born of the state in which you abide. Change the state, and the condition will change. But to change the state, you must shift your focus. So ask yourself, where is your focus? When the day ends and you lie in bed, where does your mind go? Does it return to lack, to worry, to old grievances? Or does it dwell upon the wish fulfilled? Do you rehearse your limitations, or do you quietly live in the feeling that your desire has been realized? You see, you cannot fake this. The inner world obeys sincerity. You must genuinely feel it real. This is not an act of imagination alone. It is an act of belief, and belief requires focus. The truth is simple. You become what you contemplate. Not what you wish for occasionally, but what you consistently and emotionally identify with. You cannot become rich while identifying as poor. You cannot attract love while identifying as unworthy. You cannot manifest peace while entertaining conflict. Your focus must match the reality you desire, not the one you fear, and this is where most fail. They try to focus while entertaining doubt. They say, I am wealthy, but think constantly about debt. They say, I am loved, but feel constantly rejected. The focus is divided, and so the result is delayed or distorted. You must unify your being. Every thought, every feeling, every assumption must be aligned with the truth you have chosen to live from. You must enter into the state and remain there, not as a visitor, but as a resident. Imagination and focus are one when properly understood. To imagine vividly and to focus intently are two sides of the same coin. When you focus with full attention on a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire, and you feel it to be real, you impress it upon your subconscious, and the subconscious, being the womb of creation, will externalize that impression. This is law. This is not wishful thinking or superstition. It is the very structure of reality. The outer is always the echo of the inner, but you must persist. The mind has been trained to wander. It has been conditioned by years of distraction, doubt, and fear. So at first it may resist. It may drift back to old thoughts, old assumptions, old pains. But you are not your past. You are not your habits. You are the operant power, and you can discipline your mind. Not through force, but through love. Love of the vision you hold, love of the life you know is possible. Let your desire be your guide, your focus be your compass. Whatever you seek, whether it be success, health, companionship, peace, or freedom, it already exists in potential. The universe is infinite in possibility, but to bring one possibility into form, you must give it attention. You must nourish it with thought and feeling. You must claim it as real, not someday, now. Because all creation is now, time is merely a device of the senses. The truth is that your future is shaped in this moment by what you are accepting as true. So then, accept your desire as already accomplished. Speak from the end, think from the goal, live from the result. If you desire a new home, dwell in the feeling of being there. See the walls, feel the floor beneath your feet, walk its rooms in imagination until it becomes natural. Do not ask how or when. The moment you ask how, you turn away from the focus. Your only task is to assume and persist. The means will unfold on their own through people, events, and so-called coincidences. You do not need to struggle to make it happen. You only need to surrender to the reality of it already being so. This is the true focus, not straining, not pleading, but assuming with calm certainty. You do not plant a seed and dig it up the next morning to check its growth. You water it, trust it, and allow it to rise. So it is with desire. And beware the temptation to complain, to argue for your limitations. Every complaint is a prayer for more of the same. Every word you speak is a declaration. Do not declare lack, do not declare confusion. Declare only what you choose to create. Let your words, your thoughts, your inner dialogues be focused only on the life you are building, not the one you are escaping. You have been given dominion, not over others, but over your world within. That is the kingdom, and when you govern it with clarity, with precision, with unwavering focus, the world must conform. This is law. This is truth, so today begin anew. Withdraw your focus from what you do not want. Starve it of attention. Do not give it life with thought or feeling, and place all your energy upon the vision of what you do want. Speak to yourself in ways that affirm it. See yourself already possessing it. Feel the joy of its reality, and persist even when the senses deny it. The outer world is slow to catch up, but it always does. The harvest always follows the seed. Your only responsibility is to keep the seed alive with focus. Let the wind blow, let the storms come, but do not let your gaze be moved. Stay within, stay faithful. For it is done unto you as you believe, and when you do this, not for a day, but as a new way of being, you will see change, not because the world gave you permission, but because you gave it instruction. Everything you desire requires a new level of focus, and the moment you give it, fully, passionately, deliberately, the world will mirror it. You are not here to react to appearances, you are here to create them. The senses will tempt you to believe only in what is visible, in what has already been formed. But the visible is the past. It is but a shadow of yesterday's assumptions. If you desire transformation, if you truly wish to live the life of your choosing, then you must stop giving authority to what your eyes see and begin giving authority to what your mind conceives. Your imagination, directed by focused attention, is the source of all future experience. The world bends to the shape of your dominant inner image. You may say, "But I have focused before, and nothing changed." And to that I say, did you truly focus, or did you merely entertain a passing wish? Did you dwell in the end with full emotional conviction, or did you allow fear and contradiction to creep back in moments later? This process is not about intensity for 1 hour and then forgetting for the rest of the day. It is about remaining faithful in the unseen, even when everything outside tells you otherwise. True focus is loyalty to the unseen reality until it becomes seen. Understand this. Imagination and belief are not just mental playthings. They are spiritual laws, spiritual tools that form the blueprint of your reality. When used consistently and with intention, they lift you out of your present condition and plant you into the world you have chosen. The focus required is not forced, but joyful. It is the focus of one who knows. It is the quiet conviction of the artist who sees the sculpture in the stone, who chisels away patiently, knowing it is already there, waiting to be revealed. Do not be discouraged by delay. Delay is not denial. Delay often exists to firm up your belief, to purify your focus. A delayed manifestation is an opportunity to strengthen the inner image, to refine it, to clear away the lingering doubts. What is for you cannot be taken from you, unless you give it up by shifting your attention to its absence. You must learn to love the invisible world more than the visible. You must walk by faith and not by sight. The focus required is not just on the outcome, but on the state of being that implies the outcome. If you want to be wealthy, don't just visualize money. Become the version of yourself that handles wealth with grace. If you want love, don't just imagine a partner. Embody the feeling of already being cherished, desired, adored. Let that feeling saturate your being, influence your thoughts, direct your actions.